Hello and welcome back to JVCTR. For those that are new, my name is Johnny and today you join me on the road to SCC Performance in St Albans to fit a Milltek exhaust to my MK8 Fiesta ST. Hello, yes, and today we are at SCC in St Albans getting a Milltek GPF-Back fitted to the MK8 Fiesta ST. Now, the reason behind this video is to show you what's involved with fitting a GPF or catback exhaust system to a Fiesta ST, so you can do it at home on your driveway, but also to show you the merits of getting it done professionally, like here. So, what do you need? To fit your GPF-Back exhaust, you will need a way of lifting the car safely, be that either ramps, a jack and axle stands, or a commercial car lift as we'll be using today. You'll also need a 30mm socket for the exhaust clamps, a 10mm socket for removing the stock valve controller, some form of metal saw, be that either an air saw, a hacksaw, etc., a set of safety specs which are a must when cutting metal, a set of hex keys for installing the stock exhaust valve controller on the Milltek exhaust, some lubricant to assist with getting the exhaust hangers on and off, and some hanger removal pliers if you have them available. These will make the job a hell of a lot easier. To start, it's time to get your car in the air using your chosen method. Under the car, you'll see the gasoline particulate filter, which is where the Milltek exhaust we are installing today will start. Firstly, measure 100mm from the first exhaust hanger after the GPF. Next, you'll need to cut the stock exhaust on your marker, and you can use whichever tools you prefer to cut. Here we are using a manual exhaust pipe cutter to score the pipe, and then we'll be finishing the job with an air saw. Next, you'll need to make a second cut. This does not have to be quite as accurate, as it simply allows you to remove the stock exhaust over the rear axle. It's best to make the cut on a straight section rather than a bend, so you can put a sleeve on the exhaust if you wish to return it to standard further down the line. Before going any further, remember to unplug the exhaust valve control module. Next, remove the exhaust from the car by removing the exhaust hangers. If you have a set of exhaust hanger removal pliers, these will come in handy here. So now we've got the stock exhaust off the car, you can see it next to the Milltek that we're going to replace it with. Now, as you can see, the Milltek has an ever such a slightly larger bore size, which aids better flow. And in terms of the valve, Milltek have actually developed their own valve for this system, and you just move the controller across from the stock system to the Milltek system. This is quite an easy job, and it's quite interesting looking at how they've designed the adapters and stuff to get it to work. So this is the stock valve controller, and this is the Milltek valve. Milltek have used a base plate from a BMW to hop the stock Ford valve controller and then fabricated this little adapter you see me slotting in here. This allows the car to control the exhaust as if it was standard and provides the owner with a very OEM experience whereby the Milltek can still be quiet if needed. Once you've put it all together, use the hex bolts supplied by Milltek to hold the unit in place. Now you're in a position to offer the first half of the exhaust up to the car. Because of the location of the chassis brace, we fitted the 60 to 70mm pipe converter on the floor, as it's difficult to access the bolts when it's on the car. Remember to put the clamps on both the stock exhaust pipes and the Milltek before connecting them. You can now do up the clamps hand tight. Next, we need to connect the rear muffler to the Milltek pipe. It's easiest if you have a spare pair of hands here. Once connected, do up the clamp so it's hand tight, and you can now hang the rear box. You'll likely need a drop of lubricant here, as Milltek use large lugs on their exhaust hangers to ensure they don't come undone. Remember to connect the exhaust control module. You may find it easier to twist the valve to allow more clearance, as the stock valve is on the left hand pipe and the Milltek valve is on the right hand pipe. Just remember to right the valve after. And now it's time for the final tighten up and to ensure that the Milltek exhaust is sitting centrally within the heat shield. Lastly, the most important bit, the exhaust tips. Choose how much you'd like them to protrude from the bumper, but remember that steel will grow as it gets up to temperature, so tuck them in a little further to allow for expansion. Once you've chosen the position of your exhaust tips, tighten them up from the underside. And that is the Milltek GPF-Back fitted. It's time for the first start up. It's a good idea to test that the valve is working as it should at this stage. When you are happy, have a wander under the car to make sure there are no leaks and tighten up clamps where required. Finally, give those shiny tips a polish. And talking of tips, so in the last few years, Milltek have started doing a range of different tips so that you can choose a style that suits your car. Now for the Fiesta MK8 you have a choice of 5, one being polished, one being ceramic coated in black, a burnt titanium tip, a carbon fibre tip, and then one that isn't shown here, which is the titanium tip, which I think looks really quite nice, especially on a magnetic grey. Personally, I'm more of a fan of the polished, and it's just nice and simple really, so that's what I've gone for on my car. As we're in the shop, it's worth mentioning that SCC stock a whole range of products from most of the big brands, including Milltek, Revio and Mount Tune amongst others. They'll also be able to help with any performance requirements of Ford, Honda and VAG vehicles, to name but a few. I'll leave a link to their website in the description. And here's the bit you've been waiting for.
My neighbour's going to hate me.
So there you have it. That is how you fit a Milltek exhaust to a Mark 8 Fiesta ST. Now, firstly, a massive thank you to the guys at SCC. They have been hugely welcoming and they really looked after me whilst I've been here. Now, I know I included a couple of sound clips in this video, but I haven't really had a chance to play with it yet. So I'll do another sort of sound check video like I did with the stock exhaust, and that will be online within the next couple of days. So if you enjoyed this review, please hit that subscribe button and I will catch you in the next video.
There goes a sight from my soul.